I'm Alex Valdal from Iron and Pro Financial, and it's Financial Literacy Month in the United States. And here in Canada, we have Talk with Our Kids About Money Day. Check our links for resources and the virtual money fair. It has a submission deadline of May 4th for kids ages 8 to 14 to win a $2,000 first prize for a money topic video. And Clifton and I are both so passionate about teaching our kids about money.
My name is Clifton Corbin. I wrote the book, Your Kids, Their Money, and thank you so much for making this call happen. I am a passionate financial literacy advocate. The other day, my son was talking about why things have gotten so expensive lately. So we started talking about like the supply and demand curve. It was a phenomenal conversation. I've been big into making sure they have an allowance so that they have opportunities to practice spending money.
So like you, my kids also get an allowance. Our allowance in our family is not tied to chores. So my kids get $3.75 per week, and it's just for being part of the family. My daughter also just got a paper route. So she's 7 and she's very committed.
I love what you've said about the allowance. I advocate the same things. What I call it is being a citizen of the house. So as a citizen of the house, you have to do chores. Like we all need to do the things to keep the house running. And I don't get paid for that. So you won't get paid for that. Enough money so that you can practice saving, practice spending with your allowance. But if you want to get those maybe bigger ticket items, or you really want to get something a little bit sooner than you would if you had to save up an allowance every week, you could still go out and you could still earn something.
We have like 3-day Monopoly games in my family. Like the kids love Monopoly, and Mario Monopoly is like their favorite. And then we've played the game of life.
In addition to having multiple incomes or having a dedicated parent to watch the children or what have, the burden of having childcare and elderly care at the same time, it's not something I think a lot of families have planned for, whether it be financially or mentally.
Teaching our children isn't just teaching our children now, it's teaching our children later. Hopefully my family won't need to use my life insurance for their needs. Hopefully I die so much later that my kids are like, we can just donate this money all to charity. Like that'd be amazing.
I talk a lot about saving, and a lot of people talk about, you need to save for retirement, you need to save for those big purchases. But then there's just the saving to make sure that if an emergency happens now, you can cover it. So an emergency fund, or having a well-funded emergency fund for everyday things that go wrong in your life.
Kids don't need an emergency fund because they don't have any like emergencies that are going to require them to suddenly outlay cash. The precursor to the emergency fund for kids will be the opportunity fund. So I talk about what would happen if you're saving for this goal and then you finally achieve it, and then you go and spend all your money, and then your friend's like, hey, let's go to the movies. And your parents are like, yeah, you can go to the movies with your own money. And the kid's like, I don't have any money.
I love how you phrased it, because you're right. Yeah. I also want to encourage our kids to save and invest, and getting them into that habit of not spending every cent that they have, and not spending every cent that might be in the bank or in their, in their piggy bank or in their jars or wherever it is, making sure that there's money there for when they need it. And you're right, as a child, they don't really have emergencies, but there are lots of fun things that they may want to do that they haven't been able to plan for because they didn't know it was coming. Things happen that I'm not expecting that will require me to outlay cash. And I can only do it if I have kept some of the money that I've made in the past. Like that thinking is what we're trying to translate to our children, and to us for that matter.
Yes.
We need to make sure that we're not spending all that we have, so that when the time comes, we can either do the fun thing or, cover that emergency or what have you.